Welcome back, bro. Look, I know it wasn't the greatest of performances. We win the game, but we were 2-0 up and cruising, and then suddenly dragged back into a dogfight for large periods. What's on your mind, mate?
We make it difficult for ourselves all the time, and it's just frustrating. A little bit of a wobble, and you allow a League Two team who's 16th come and show you how to play football for large periods of that game. It's embarrassing. It's about the scoreline flatters us really, because Newport easily could have also had two more goals as well the way that they were playing, and we can't be having this as Man United. Like, their levels is not good enough. A lot of those players on that pitch, I look at them, it's like, you look like you belong with these men. You know what I mean? At times we look like the team in League Two who's 19th and they're 16th, and we're having a flipping scrap like in periods of those games, and it's just not good enough overall. Like, we've got a couple of good talents in the team, upcoming talent that you'd be like, yeah, you can see them in the future. Hoyland, Mainu, Garnacho when he plays on the right hand side. You can look at those players like, yeah, they've got something there. And you just look at the rest of the team, and it's just guys that you just don't look like, either they don't look like they can be bothered, or they're just not good enough. And this is the story of our season right now. That there's no rhythm, there's no continuity, there's no synergy in this team. And I'm just really hoping that Ineos, Sir Jim, and Sir Beresford come in and change it all. Absolutely change it all. We've already seen some changes at board level. Cool. Complete that. Complete the recruitment process as well, and getting new people in. And let's start getting rid of most of these players. I'll keep around 5 to 7 players in that squad. The rest of them, they all need to go. They all need to go. It's just, it's a poor indictment on us as a club and as a team that we made this into a scrap when it didn't need to be a scrap. You can't be 2-0 up and then just go down to 2-2 and then struggle for like half an hour in the second half, and then magically get a magic rebound and you score a goal, and you score a scrappy goal after that as well. Not good, man. Not good. Not good.
Listen, I agree, KJ. I view it from this point. If we hadn't lost 14 of our previous 30 games this season, if we hadn't gone in at half time in a number of matches looking okay and then come out and been absolutely abysmal, if we weren't out of the Champions League, weren't out of the top four race, weren't out of the title race, weren't absolutely awful in being knocked out of the League Cup, you could handle a 15-minute wobble and then going on to win it this way. And you would just say, magic of the FA Cup. Don't worry about the performance. It's about the winning in these competitions. I don't think Man United fans can afford that luxury, because we have so many poor performances, so many games that are similar to this. And the fact that we had so many of our main players back today, Luke Shaw, Martinez, Lissandro, Casemiro, to name, in fairness, you probably, barring Rashford, and we know that situation is a little complex, that's pretty much our strongest 11. You could argue the goalkeeper and Mount from the manager signed them perspective, but I don't think many of us rate them anyway. So pretty much our strongest team, and we have seen this so regularly. To have it happen against a League Two team, even though we won 4-2, I do still feel somewhat embarrassed by that, because we know that it is the word they use in movies. It's like foreshadowing. We know that's happening again. In the next 4 or 5 Premier League games, we're going to see that 3-4 more times. So yeah, that's the element where I'm frustrated, and where that annoys me, where that upsets me as a Man United fan, is I want to be able to celebrate Mainu getting his first goal. I thought he was very, very solid today. The fact that I'm going to make a guess here, because I don't know off the top of my head. What has he played? 6 or 7 games as a professional football player? It may be a few more now.
I think it might be like, it's up to like 15 now, something like that.
Is it as high as that already?
Yeah.
But he's barely been a professional footballer very long. I actually want to just click on that and see. Not because I distrust you. I'm just genuinely, where is he at this season? Appearances. No, it's not, bruv. 7.
Well, 7 in all comps.
So it's 11. Sorry, it's seven. It's his 7th start.
Yeah.
He's had 11 appearances so far. Yeah. So, but that's the point I'm making. It's only like his 7th start of his entire life as a Man United player. And he looks at a player that can operate at this level because he looked a level above the individuals that were out there. I was so frustrated about the lack of chances again created for Højlund. And I've seen a lot of United fans online kick off and moan and oh, well, what else does he do? He makes all the right runs. He's in the right places. But the amount of time Garnacho could have squared in the ball today, the amount of time Anthony could have put an early cross into the box and he was in the right position. And we're not doing it. And you saw it 2 or 3 times he threw his arms up. And then you heard him scream at Garnacho about the 75th minute. He just shouted, Garnacho. And then I don't know what he said because they always muffle down the sound. But he had a right go at him, just basically saying, what are you doing? I'm in these positions to score. Because again, you'll say, oh, he scored today 1-4-2. It doesn't matter. But that's been a problem for 31 games this season, that we are not creating those simple chances that every other club in the Premier League does. In the amount of time today, he got the ball in the box. So Højlund held players off, laid up Bruno, laid up other individuals. He did his job perfectly. So that's probably why it's got to me as well, is that we had a couple of performances that were really good, where they could have added some more goals to their own tally. It could have been an absolute hammering, a nice little confidence booster ahead of the Premier League game. But instead, you walk away from it frustrated. And maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh.
You're not being harsh, Terry. You're not being harsh. And everyone in the comments saying that we're being harsh, or like we're just grumpy, or just ungrateful, or we won over. I don't care, because you know why? Because I want the best for Man United. If you're telling me those performances, that performance against League Two opposition, 16th, there are 24 teams in League Two, and they are 16th. And you're telling me this performance is good enough for us to be happy? Then I know you don't want the best for Man United, because this is not a performance level. This is not a system. This is not a style of play that you can go against Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs. If you go into Europe, Real Madrid, Barca, Bayern, those are the teams that we want to be competing with. We are making Newport County look like they belong with us. That's how bad we are. So yeah, I'm not going to be happy about that, because we should be cruising through. If we won 4-2, but we scored all of our goals first, and they scored 2 screamers, and it's 4-2, I'm cool. Because like, we played really well. Fair play to them. They scored 2 screamers. It happens. But the first goal, deflected goal, cool. I wasn't upset about that. It's the second one, their build-up play. Why was there 2 players up front against 2 of our defenders? It was 2v2 for that goal. It was a long ball, control, big switch, quick switch into the center of the pitch. And he's there with he's one-on-one. Holds it up, plays out wide, crosses it in, boom, goal. Why is that happening? Why is that happening? Things like that. We can't be letting that happen.
What will happen in these circumstances is some will say you can't blame the manager for this. But I look at it and think, well, this has been all season. So why? Listen, I'm someone that thinks there's a really good player in Garnacho. I don't think you've been being coached right. I genuinely don't. I couldn't understand why Ahmad didn't come onto the pitch much sooner. I'm not too sure why he didn't come on
at all.
He didn't come on, did he?
He didn't come out at all.
No, he didn't. Forson came on. Now, I've got no issue with Forson, but Ahmad's not coming on. And I know Anthony got that winner, but we could have done something there. This is why I blame the manager, because I can tell by watching we're not working on the drills for those simple cutback goals. We get in the position to score them, but we're not making those cutbacks. We're shooting from obscene angles on such a regular basis. Terry and his Ten Hag agenda. But this is the thing, though. If we were playing beautiful football, we would be saying and cutting through people. If our players were making the correct decisions on a more regular basis, we'd be saying Ten Hag ball. So why, when the patterns are awful, the play is slow, and the consistent poor decisions are being made, and then those individuals making those poor decisions, by our view, are still being picked, which tells you they're doing what the manager wants? How is it not partly? Why isn't a big percentage of that on Ten Hag? It can't be Ten Hag ball when it's good and players bad when we don't perform. You have to have balance on this. Now, I have already on this show criticized some of the players. But I look at it and think to myself, well, we've got a striker out there that is losing his temper with his teammates because they're not squaring balls. Surely the manager's got to do something about this, whether it's dropping people or whether it's coaching them differently. One of those two things has to happen, in my personal opinion. As a comment that came through here from Speaking Facts says, Terry, Bruno is complete rubbish. He says here, is a complete crap of a midfielder, and you called him a creator. So I don't stop deflecting the crap performance today on other people when Bruno couldn't dribble past League Two players. If you thought Bruno had a bad game today, I just have to respectfully disagree with you. I'm not raving about it because it was against a League One team. Some of his passing, some of the balls, the beat. Now, he didn't go dribbling through people. I know they're League One players, but he's not a dribbler. He doesn't have the explosive power or the skill set to be dribbling past people. That isn't what he does at any level. So I didn't expect to go, right, it's League One today. So Bruno Fernandes is going to go from being the passer that he is to playing like Ronaldinho. That was never going to happen because it was against a League Two team. Secondly, he wasn't the chief creator on the pitch today, but he was playing a little bit deeper at times. The amount of times he facilitated those balls early into our wide players running onto them that wasted it, that was all Bruno Fernandes. He also scored a brilliant opening goal as well. I think he was awarded the official FA Cup man of the match today. So listen, you don't have to be a Bruno fan, but I think to focus upon him for being poor today, I would say is incorrect in my humble opinion. This here says from Harold says, I'm just worried these wins protect Ten Hag. You talk as though we are cruising. Don't say it as we were good. He should do a Xavi, fall on his own sword and leave.
We talk with. Oh, is Ten Hag saying is he saying Ten Hag talking like we're cruising?
Maybe. Yeah, we're definitely not. It must be Ten Hag because Harold's not a silly boy. Yeah, look, listen, I look at it this way. I don't think we're going to make a decision now as we're doing the assessment of what's going on at the club. So I'm at a point where I suppose this contradicts what I said at the beginning, but I'm only thinking about it now because of your super chat. Maybe the wins are just all that matters if we know we're going to get rid of the manager. So maybe I need to know, I'm thinking out loud here, maybe if they said the manager's going at the end of the season, I wouldn't care about performances because at the end of the season, something new is beginning. I think it's the unknown maybe that's frustrating me, but I get where you're coming from. I'm a bit like you. You know what? If we end up winning a FA Cup, as harsh as this sounds, I still hope we move on to somebody new.
No, it has to be done. It has to be done.
I think we have to.
The thing is, you say, well, Matt, but we did it with Van Gaal, and he had a better start of play than we did. Than we do now, and we still do it with Van Gaal. So why does Ten Hag get this? Oh, he won a cup, so he could stay. The football's awful. The players don't like him clearly because how you got your star man from last season now wanting to just not do anything but play football. Like, he doesn't want to play football. He's out partying in flipping Dublin, then being on time for training. Last season, you weren't doing that. So what have you done? You've clearly alienated a load of players. You've clearly frustrated a load of players. The way you play is crap, and you can't build from that. So why is he staying? If we somehow fluke an FA Cup, I would say, you know what, that's a great way to go out. You know what I mean? Like, that was a great way to go out. People can then gloss over your time here. You can have arguments and debates how good it was, but you still need to go. Keeping him just because he won an FA Cup is foolishness. It would be foolish. It would be literally counterproductive. And I guarantee you now, no new ownership keeps this. Idios are not keeping Ten Hag. Sir Jim and Sir Brailsford are looking at this team and like, this guy is not the guy. This guy is not the guy because no person can sit there and think Ten Hag's going to turn this around. No ownership will come in and be like, you know what? Every other ownership picks their own guy because it's something new, someone they want. But we're going to be the ones to be different and keep this. It's not like it's Pep. If it was Pep and a new ownership came in and kept Pep, guess what? I get that because he's flipping Pep, the best in the world. But this is Ten Hag. And someone who really wanted him, advocated for him, it's actually really frustrating and pains me that we've got to this point where I just don't want him here. Because I genuinely believe that he could do something with this team and this club. but he has chosen to go down this path because he didn't have to choose the way that we play this season because we weren't playing like this last season. Last season, we were a lot better. But he's chosen this. And so if Sir Jim and Sir Brailsford decide to keep him, if he wins the FA Cup or not, I'm going to automatically believe that these guys don't know what they're doing. The strategic review has just been nonsense. And all I'm saying is, you think Omar Barada is as new CEO is saying, yeah, this is the style of play that we're going to play? Hell no, the man came from City. He came from City to come back here
and peak Barcelona
and
before
peak Barca.
And this is what's true. So again, as I say, if he wins an FA Cup this year, if we were to win it, I'd celebrate the win. I'd say thank you, and I would say goodbye, because again, this is where me and Lee Gunner used to have these debates a lot, and I agree with Lee that the ultimate goal is to win trophies, but that can't be the framing or the spectrum that you look through, and that or the only element that you assess a team in. Because we are nowhere near winning the Premier League. Our football isn't good enough to win the Premier League, and there are major problems to the club. You can win trophies when there's still problems. What you can't do, and it's been proven over a decade at United, is compete for the Premier League. Now, if someone said to me, Terry, you can win the FA Cup this year, but be where you are in the league, or you can start again, but definitely challenge for the Premier League with no guarantee of a trophy, I'd pick challenging for the Premier League. Because my belief is if over a consistent period of time, you are good enough to compete to try and win the Premier League and you're good enough to win it, you're probably over a 5-6 year period going to win more trophies than maybe I'll win one, maybe I won't. Maybe we'll have a good cup run, maybe we won't. So I want to be a sustainably good team, and I don't think we're going to get there with Ten Hag. So him winning this FA Cup, for me, shouldn't dictate whether he stays or not. It should be how good we are in a Premier League season, generally speaking, should be the barometer, because that shows you truly where you are. Teams have been relegated and won the FA Cup. That means you're one of the worst teams in the top flight football of England, but through a good cup run, you've won a trophy. It's still a good season in that regard, but overall, I want to be a better team. You know, so listen, for me, yeah, look, I'm not sticking by this manager. I wish it would have worked out, but it simply hasn't for me. This here says from Macavia, says, I'm more confident now with Brailsford and Barada than we have had with previous people, that it doesn't matter if we win, they'll know he's not good enough. Brother, I agree with you completely, and that's the attitude we should have. I'll give you an example. I'm happy that Anthony scored tonight. I'll be happy if Anthony scores in his next 2 or 3 games. It's not going to change my mind. I don't think he's good enough for us. It's actually his performances that would prove to me he's good enough. Now, between now and the end of the season, we become an absolutely well-oiled machine, dominating the ball, passing through teams, beating teams, looking amazing. My mind may change. By the way, more so than if we would just win the FA Cup. Because you look at it and go, well, if we have 3 or 4 months where the football was great, can we grow on that? I don't see that coming.